YouTube, you could be anywhere in this world, but you're right here with us. So thank you for joining us. I'm Chris. This is Dave. How you doing, brother?
Doing well, man. Doing well. Can't complain. Never can complain. But all is well on my end, man. How are things on your end?
Good, good. How you enjoying your time away from the forex market?
Honestly, I've been enjoying it a lot, man. This is normally the times and the periods where we've discussed in our prior video where you just generally want to unwind, review your prior performance, reflect on a lot of the things that you did well, things you didn't do well, reprioritize your objectives if you have to, and figure out your core A1 setup and prep for the year ahead. And now that I got that work out of the way, I've just been relaxing, spending a lot of time with family, friends, just enjoying my dating life, man. So life has been good and just unwinding, catching a breath because next year we're gonna come back hard. So
Yes,
I want to
sir.
make sure that I enjoy, the best of this month. What about you, man? What's been keeping you busy?
For me, it's just taking care of my health, Dave. I think last video we kind of touched up on the importance of kind of living life, and I just been away from the markets. Haven't really looked at a chart for too long. This is actually the first time I pull up a chart in maybe about a week, or maybe since the last time we did a video, which was about a week ago. So it's kind of good. It feels good to clear your head.
Yeah, it does, man. It does. It's always good to balance yourself out, mellow out for a little bit. But anyways, with that said, peeps, what's going on? Chris and David and Chris, head traders here at Traders Creed. Welcome back to another video here for the week. Before we begin, please do us that favor of hitting that like button, subscribe button, notification bell button if you want to stay up to date with any and all of our most recent content. We hope all is well wherever you are in our tiny blue planet. Bitcoin, man. Bitcoin. The talk of the town is what we're going to be covering today. We really haven't done anything outside of the foreign exchange market, but today is a day where we cover a different type of market, man. And as we said, it's the talk of the town. It's the buzzword right now. Everybody's excited about Bitcoin. So we're personally going to give our take, our opinions, our projections, anticipations for what we anticipate is likely to unfold for BTC moving forward, or any crypto assets or risk on assets for that matter. And we're going to do our best to apply our principles, foundations, and trading approach onto this chart. However, we're not going to get too detailed with the technicals here because a little bit of a disclaimer, Chris and I, we don't actively trade cryptocurrencies. We primarily specialize in the foreign exchange market, and we like to keep it that way. A jack of all trades, personally in this business, is a master of none. However, we do have money invested in Bitcoin over the long term. Now, we're not like these long-term believers of cryptocurrencies, whether they're going to change the world or not. That's a conversation for another day. We're not too technically inclined to be discussing a lot of the sophisticated aspects of Bitcoin, but we do have some knowledge out of the research that Chris and I have conducted over the years to personally give our take on it. And if any market is manipulated, we're going to understand how to maneuver our way through it. And we've had back-tested principles and concepts that have served us well over the years, and it is no different in the cryptocurrency exchange market as well. So with that said, we do want to make that little disclosure is that we do have money invested, but it is still a trade to us because we plan to liquidate positions as price unfolds to our anticipations, it reaches certain targets, et cetera, et cetera. But I do want to be holding cryptocurrencies as a part of our portfolio, for as long as we can. But we will be trading it here and there in terms of like yearly timeframes, so to speak. We don't actively trade it the way we trade the foreign exchange market. So now that that's out of the way, man, we know everybody's excited about cryptocurrencies, are a little bit horny on this topic. So let's go ahead and dive into it. We do personally believe that, despite cryptocurrencies being a highly speculative and volatile asset, it is something you should consider looking into. It is something you should consider allocating your resources into. Why? Because with these types of markets, they offer the potential for very aggressive and phenomenal returns. This is something that you want in the mix within your portfolio if you are to condense the time continuum that it's going to take for you to build your ideal wealth, right? Whatever it means for you to be wealthy or to accumulate the amount of money that is going to essentially make you feel rich. I've personally made some money off of cryptocurrencies throughout the years. It's not life-changing money, but it's been some money here and there through a lot of the concepts that we've been developing in the foreign exchange market or at the Traders Creed Discord, the methodology that we teach a lot of our students. And it's despite the bear market that we've had, we've stayed away from it because, as we said, we don't actively trade it, so we haven't really shorted the market. We're just kind of waiting for certain things to unfold for us to be more interested. And now that those things have unfolded, we have a strong idea of what's likely to unfold, and we're going to play with that narrative. In that case, it's going to be a bullish narrative. We're going to long the cryptocurrency market, Bitcoin, or any other assets that we might cover down the line. But right now, we got money invested in Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Ethereum, pretty much the three most well-known and liquid assets. And then I have, this other coin that I will not disclose as of right now because I don't want you guys to be tampering with stuff that I'm not very well educated on. Because the whole point of this channel is to help you guys make money as we're making money as well. So with that said, from a macro fundamental perspective, we believe that Bitcoin has the potential to continue in a bullish fashion, and we're going to discuss why. But right now, the dollar is losing tremendous value. Risk on assets are appreciating across the board, whether they're equities, cryptocurrencies, risk on currencies such as the euro, pound, et cetera, et cetera. The dollar is losing tremendous value. There are so many underlying reasons as to why that is. We're not going to cover all of them here, but when you print a fuck ton of money into the economy, there's a lot of supply, little demand for it. The asset's going to generally depreciate. Basic laws of supply and demand, nothing too crazy. And as people really understand the idea that holding dollars is not the best play, they're going to look to allocate their resources into wherever they can generate returns. And people generally want to generate aggressive returns. And we know that big institutions are starting to pay attention to the cryptocurrency market. So our edge is derived from understanding these deceptive tactics, a lot of the ways that these smart money hedge funds operate through any really big financial liquid market. And in this case, we know that big institutions are keeping an eye on Bitcoin. They are starting to allocate tremendous amounts of money into the cryptocurrency market, and they leave specific footprints. So we're going to talk about those footprints. As we said, Chris and I, we're not going to dive too much into the technical aspect of this because we're not actively trading this. So we do have money invested, and we are accumulating around current prices. We've accumulated prior to the 18,000 level, but we are still accumulating. We're averaging into our positions. And when we get our setups present themselves, we go in and we scale in far more aggressively. So let's go ahead and discuss from a technical standpoint why we believe Bitcoin is going to be a bullish play for us moving forward. So we always highlight our break of structure. Our break of structure just simply indicates that there is a potential for a shift in sentiment, shift in fundamentals, the narrative, et cetera, et cetera. So that's the first one. You got your massive trend line break there. Now let's move into the most recent price action where that fresh low was put in, Chris, for the year 2020. Yeah, that break of structure. Do you mind highlighting it there? I would say it's slightly above the 6,000 level, right underneath the 8,000 level. So that was a major low that was put in. That was also a massive liquidity spike and quick stop grab from any longs taking the move upwards prior to that low that was put in. So you got your nice confirmed range up there. You got those bounces at support. Price was moving in, luring in more buyers. Stops were accumulating in the form of liquidity underneath that nice little level there. And boom, all those buyers were cleaned out. Breakout traders, form of sellers were coming in. So that massive selling is the volume needed in order for these big to deploy massive buy contracts. And that is what we're getting there. So once you get that massive liquidity spike and all of a sudden you're getting buying pressure to the upside, that's a key clue right there. So then we got price break and close right back above our support level, which is strong indications to us that our fundamentals or sentiment has shifted from the downside to the upside now. So with that said, we got our break of structure there, and then we got our impulsive move back inside the range. And then now you start to get those little ranges, impulse move, range again. And then we got that massive impulsive move, almost taking us to 20,000, man, is we're literally hovering right underneath a major, major key level. Now, this is another thing that I need you guys to keep in mind. This is very important. When price approaches very significant levels, it's going to do one of two things. It's either A, going to break out, pull back, and continue, or it's going to break out and fucking fail. So given that the dollar is losing massive value, people are accumulating risk on assets, risk on currencies. Bitcoin is showing massive signs of strength, especially when you get the velocity of that bullish action. People are going to chase that move. So, but price will eventually exhaust itself. It will stall. And in those periods where price is stalling is where we want to be coming in and accumulating buy positions in the asset that we're looking at. So as we said, we've been accumulating Bitcoin right underneath the 18,000 level. And we're still averaging in every week. Cris and I are allocating a tremendous amount of our resources into Bitcoin. And even if price we get pushed back, it doesn't matter because the fundamental long play is still intact. So any dips from here on out are just buying opportunities. Those dips should not be anything you're scared of. We've looked at the historical price data into cryptocurrencies, or at least Bitcoin. When it's in a bull market, it has generally dipped about 30 to 40%. Maybe that might change this time around because market conditions always change. It's never going to be the same. The markets are not here to do what's in your best interest. They're not going to make it easy for you to make money. So maybe the dips might be, the retracements might be a lot smaller. They might be 20, 30%, or they might be a lot larger. Who fucking knows? But what we know is that any shakeout moves are not to be feared. If anything, they should be exciting for you to start coming in and accumulating positions. So if we do get any dips past the 17,000 again, which it's possible that it may happen, we will be getting in far more aggressively because we know that buyers are still holding long positions. So if we do get another deep excursion before we get some upside, that will be a phenomenal buying opportunity. But either way, as we said, if you guys are not day trading this, that's fine. You shouldn't care what the price of Bitcoin does. You should just be focusing on accumulating BTC as much as you can because the next moves outside of 20,000 are probably going to be very, very explosive. And we're already in a macro bull structure, trending structure. So you want to ride the trend as much and as far as possible. So any dips below the 17,000 or right at that support level, that confirmed range that we got down there is going to be very, very good opportunity for us to start going in long. But we are already long. We have a decent amount of money in our portfolio. So with that said, now it serves us no purpose telling you, okay, you should buy Bitcoin. Now let's talk about targets. So we're giving you the idea that the dollar is appreciating. Risk on assets are a good play right now, despite any dips. Don't hold cash because cash is going to continue to depreciate massively in value, especially the dollar. There's more stimulus coming down our way, more liquidity being printed in the form of dollars. So be prepared for that. That's going to massively devalue the dollar. We will have a very, very bumpy ride as we go, but we should see some continuation to the upside. Now let's talk about projections. Now, Cris and I were not really in the business of making price predictions. That's not our forte. We just follow our method. But what we will say is that if 20,000 does break and we get a massive another impulsive move, we could expect 25,000 to 30,000 at least being interacted with before we get some pressure around those price levels. So we could see another volatile move around to 25 to 30,000, which is a really, really good aggressive return. Now I know many of us Bitcoin for the thousands upon hundreds of thousands percentages that it has brought to many of our portfolios, but it's probably going to not be the case moving forward. But Bitcoin still has the potential to offer aggressive returns relative to other performing assets. Bitcoin up to date to this year is still the best performing asset despite the shitstorm that we got hit with during 2020. So it's something to pay attention to. Whether it's going to change the world, Chris and I, we don't know. Whether it's going to be the form of money, nobody fucking knows. All we know as traders is that whenever we see a market that offers aggressive risk to reward profiles, we're going to be interested and we're going to look for ways to exploit that for cash. So that's what we're here to do. So we would say that if you are accumulating or if you've thrown an aggressive amount, so with Chris and I, this is our strategy. This is another thing. This is what a lot of people don't tell you. When you pay attention to all these other YouTubers, they're very good at telling you what to do, but at the same time, they don't tell you in detail their plans and stuff like that. Obviously, they can't for legal purposes. This is never financial advice. This is just stuff we're doing. Take this information at your own risk. Always do your own due diligence, and most importantly, never invest money you cannot afford to lose. But this is what Chris and I are going to be doing. So around 18,000, we invested a couple grand, a very aggressive position over a 5-figure sum of our personal resources. And once we get that break, once we peak about 25,000, we're going to take that initial investment. All the while, we're still averaging smaller amounts on a weekly basis. We're averaging in, and we're going to let those smaller positions ride out as far as we can. But our aggressive position, we're going to liquidate once our targets are made around 25 to 30,000. We'll be up to date with that because, if the velocity, the price action is very aggressive, then we'll be more keen to hold. But if it looks like it's fizzling out, like it's waning, it's not showing signs of strength, then we're going to cut the trade right there and then. But we still believe that Bitcoin is a solid investment over the next 3 to 5 years, possibly even further. This is something you want to be paying attention to. So that's pretty much it, peeps. There's not really much that we're going to get into detail here, but we have our break of structure at that low that was put in early in the year around March. Then we got that break back inside the range, more impulse moves, ranges, breaks, impulse, ranges, et cetera, et cetera. And this cycle will continue itself. That's not to say we won't get pushbacks and very volatile price action here and there, but stick the course out. You want to be longing Bitcoin. You want to be longing any risk on assets, anything denominated in dollars you want to be going against. You want to bet long, or you want a short dollar and you want to bet long again against the dollar. So with that said, that's all we pretty much have to cover on Bitcoin. We hope that this information proved valuable. It's just really straight to the point. This is easy stuff. You guys don't need to overcomplicate this stuff. Any pushback, do not fear it. Take that as an opportunity to continue to accumulate at much more attractive prices. Our targets are going to be set at around 25, 30,000. Over the long term, we do expect Bitcoin to appreciate far more greater in value. But right now, that's conversation for another day. We're trying to focus on the here and now. So if we get another aggressive impulse move, Chris and I, we are expecting 25,000 to 30,000 to at least be interacted with before we get some waning price action, the velocity to die out, and another opportunity for us to look for more dips. But this is another bull structure by the dip scenario. And in the event that we do get stop hunts, or our core setups, that's where we're going to be throwing in more capital more aggressively to maximize returns and maximize the reward relative to the risk that we're taking. But that's pretty much it on our end. We think Bitcoin is a solid buy. That's it. You don't really need to go over anything else. We don't need to complicate this shit. It's pretty straightforward, and we hope that this information served you well. But with that said, one last time, please do us that favor if you enjoyed this content to hit that like button, subscribe button, notification button. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, leave a comment down below, and Chris and I will always do our best to get back to you in a timely manner. Leave some positive feedback, constructive feedback, hell, negative feedback if you want to. We appreciate it all. Hit that like button one more time. Chris, before we call it a wrap, do you have anything else to add to that, brother?
Nothing much, brother.
Awesome, man. Just love you. Let's continue, guys. Remember, you shouldn't really be actively trading around this time. It's December. The holidays are coming. So take time to relax. Take time to enjoy yourself. But once 2021 comes, let's hit it hard back again. Let's make a lot of money together. And we hope that you guys continue to follow us on our journey. And we hope that any of the content that we've been posting has been helping improve your trading performance and your trading edge. Because at the end of the day, that's all Chris and I want to do, man. We just want to help a lot of people in the process, because the markets, man, it is a possibility. It's not a pipe dream. I became a successful forex trader. A lot of people say that, that becoming a trader, especially in the foreign exchange market, is a pipe dream. It's not. Take it from me. It's not. It's not an easy endeavor. Trading is not an easy endeavor, but it can be done if you're willing to commit yourself to this beautiful craft. It will test you as a person, mentally, emotionally, financially, spiritually, but nothing worth doing is going to come easy. So yeah, stick the course, stay hungry, stay sharpening your craft, and strive to be the best, because there is no room for amateurs in this game, man. Only professionals. So with that said, thank you so much for spending this time with us. It's Chris and David, David and Chris, timing out.